At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Charles D. Bartolo. Charles has been a big help to us at SCORE. Charles has also been our webmaster and makes us look good on our web. I've worked with Charlie for a number of years, and I can't say enough of good things about him, but I'm going to ask him to tell you a little bit more about his technical abilities and to take you through the program. So Charlie, if you would, please take over and relieve me from this.
Okay, thank you, John. So yes, I'm Charles D. Bartolo. I'm Better BizWorks Web Design and Internet Marketing. We're located at 1855 Victory Boulevard in Staten Island. We build websites and help people with their marketing. We do all kinds of things from article writing to blogging to advertising on the web. And in my years, over 12 years of working with businesses on the web, I've learned a little bit, and happy to impart that knowledge, and happy to work with SCORE in getting the word out on how to make your business more effective on the web. So today we're going to cover making Facebook work for your business. Some of the items that we're going to cover are, moving your users from followers to customers on Facebook and onto your website or whatever you have. Tools for social media marketing, determining demographics and marketing, your demographics and marketing footprint, fine-tuning your Facebook advertising, using video and photos to create content-rich information and increase traffic, free tools to grow your business online, learn to create a Facebook business page, how to use Facebook efficiently in a pandemic, and we're going to do a little bit with live streaming, Zoom, and events on Facebook to help make your marketing more efficient in social media. First, let's cover why you need a Facebook page. Reach. Most people have a Facebook account. Over 53% of users are always on Facebook because they have, hold on one second. There we go. This way you can see the whole screen. 53% of users are always on Facebook because they're either on their PC or on their phone or on an app. It helps new customers connect with you and helps you retain customers over time. And this chart also shows a lot of other social media and apps, and you can see that Facebook is by far the largest and has the most reach. So that's what we're covering today. First thing I just want to mention, there is a difference between your personal Facebook page and your business page. So you want to have a personal page, but you may not necessarily want your business information on your personal page for obvious reasons. So the anatomy of a business page, basically, if you look at the G, that's your profile picture. You can put a picture of yourself, your product, or your business in that little circle. Just make sure the picture fits in that circle. Okay, we'll talk about dimensions later. You want an eye-catching cover photo or video, which goes where that cartoonish what nature picture is, okay? And then you want regular relevant content in the information that's below it, like the about, the photos, the videos, the events, posts, and so forth. You want to put in your operating hours and address. You want to link to your website and phone number. And you want to add the proper information in the about and all of the contact info. And you also want to keep a good response time if people message you or put information up and ask you questions. You want to answer it fairly quickly because that information does show to the Facebook users and it shows that you care. Users can message your page. Quick responses can increase customer retention rate. your average response rate time will show on your page. And like I said, quick responses make users feel important. And so it is important to respond quickly if you can. This is a heat map of traffic on Facebook. So if you look at it, the little blue boxes to the right, the darker the box, the more the traffic on Facebook. And it shows you Monday through Sunday. And as you can see, around noontime is the best time to post. I try not to post, let's say, past 4 o'clock, because as you can see, users drop off. And then a lot of people post late at night because that's when they have time to do it. But a lot of posts pile up and then people don't see your posts if you post too late. So you want to take a look at this to see when the best time to post is. And again, you'll get a copy of this presentation. And a lot of this information, you know, I'm no genius. It's from the internet. You guys can look up a lot of this information on Google and find it. So whenever in doubt, Google can be an extension of your intelligence. Use it, okay? Okay, what to post? You want to post relevant and rich content. You want to use as much visual information as you can because people don't read as much as they used to. Visual reach more than blocks of text. Videos can be even more effective. You want to put links to your website on your advertisements and in your posts, because the goal is not to keep them on Facebook, but to bring them to your website or your products, wherever they may be. You want to, if you have a website, you definitely want to use your blog or create a blog on your website to send people to. Just posting on Facebook gets lost over time. It's great for Facebook. It's not as good for you. So you want to send people to your own internet real estate, whatever that may be, whether you have a shop on a third party, or whether you have a website of your own, or whether it's a website somewhere else. You want to make sure that you put in information that's useful and relevant on a site and send them to that site so they can become a fan of you and your product or service. And what I usually do is, as you can see here, this is an ad for Better BizWorks. It's a video that's showing. It has visuals. You know, it says start your Google pay-per-click ads with Better BizWorks. Call my number or visit, and it has a link to create your ad campaign today. Now, you could put anything in that little teaser. You would have a picture or a video underneath it. And this is an effective way to put information out to Facebook users. If there's motion, it catches their eye, even if they're not looking at your ad. So a video is more effective than a picture. A picture is more effective than just writing. And writing is the least effective, which you'd like it to be more effective, but it's not. Not on Facebook and not on Instagram, especially. So you want to write articles on your blog, not on Facebook. Put a teaser and a link. Don't steal photos or videos from other people. Don't, you know, a lot of people I see go and grab something off of Google Images. That's copyright infringement. You don't want to use other people's pictures or videos. You want to, there are free places to go. We'll talk about it. And there are places that you can pay a small amount and own those pictures. But definitely be careful, because there are people suing for using their pictures and videos on the internet, and you don't want to be subject to that. So here are a few places you can go where you can pay for pictures, a small amount per month or a small amount per picture. Unsplash.com is free. Big Stock Photo charges a small amount. The other ones, Shutterstock, Adobe Stock, Dreamstime.com, and all of these are .com, of course. DepositPhotos.com, Canstock.com, Storyblocks.com. There are many others. These places do provide pictures that you can download either for free or a small fee. There are other companies you can go to too, but I just recommend that I see a lot of people taking pictures off the internet and then they get in trouble later. Some of them don't, but always err on the side of caution and do the right thing. Next, find your demographic. Staten Island has thousands of users. At the time that I pulled this data, the Staten Island Advance itself had 129,000 followers. Finding the demographics you want to reach is important. Your demographics can help shape the types of content you produce. So here we're kind of showing, as of February of 2019, that, you know, who are you marketing to? Are you marketing to the 18 to 29 segment, the 30 to 49-year-old segment, the 50 to 54-year-old segment, or the 63-year-old plus segment? These are percentages on Facebook of users. Also, it's showing here the share of respondents. So that's one segment. The other part is income. What income are you looking at? What area of, let's say, the United States or the world are you looking to market to? Is it the whole world? Because if it is, you need to market to a lot of people. Is it just the United States? Is it just the New York, New Jersey area, the tri-state area? Is it just Staten Island? Because you have to determine who you're marketing to before you start to market to them. And then you have to figure out how the best way to appeal to those people are. So identify your demographic before you start to shout out your information, and then make a plan as to the best way to appeal to your market. It's very important rather than just shouting out, okay? So the number of active Facebook users worldwide as of the second quarter of 2019 is almost 2.5 billion followers. So if you wanted to market to everyone on Facebook, you need to have a large budget. So definitely the first thing you want to do is decide what demographic you're going after, and then you want to hone that down, because most people can't afford to market to 2.5 billion people. Link posts back to your website, link events, ticket sales or admissions to places like Eventbrite, feature popular products, cultivate an active online presence. So when I say these things, remember that when you shout out your information, when you post on Facebook, you want to have a link to basically sell your wares, whether it's going back to your website, whether it's going to an event, selling tickets, selling products, selling services. Link back to where you want to go, make those links effective, put an effective call to action on those links. So, you know, as an example, if you were selling a home remedy, like a health remedy, you might want to talk about the pain point that you are addressing, like back pain, neck pain. We have the solution for you. And then you may want to say all natural, whatever the product benefits are, and then link back to where they want to go with a teaser on price or quality, and a link. If you're selling events, you want to make sure that you have what appeals to them on that event. Right now, there's not many outdoor events or events to go to. But when you do put out an event, and we'll talk about virtual events later, you definitely want to put a link to the ticket sales, whether it's Eventbrite or whatever you're using. There is the ability to post on Instagram at the same time that you post on Facebook. You can go to, in the left-hand margin of Facebook, there's something that mentions Instagram. You can click on that and follow the instructions so that when you post on Facebook, you can also be posting on your Instagram account. And we're not going to cover Instagram today, but one of the ways to double your audience and also increase your demographics to a younger audience is to add Instagram to your posts. So take a look at the left-hand margin on Facebook. You can go to Instagram. You can connect an Instagram account. You may have to set up that Instagram account first. And then whatever you post on Facebook can also be posted on Instagram. I prefer to post on Facebook and post on Instagram separately because I like to get the pictures and the ads just right to fit both services. But if you're in a rush or you need to be more efficient with your time because you're spending a lot of time on your business, you can actually post to both by linking the two accounts. So it's a nice form since Facebook actually owns Instagram. So you can take advantage of actually posting to both. It's a great way to double your access. Okay, we talked about that you have a personal page most likely on Facebook. And now we're going to talk about how to create a Facebook business page. The purpose of owning a business page is maybe you talk about personal things on your personal page on Facebook, and you want to talk about just your business on your business page, and never the twain shall meet. And I'm a firm believer in that. Actually, I've done both because when my family got on Facebook, all of a sudden my personal business got intermingled with my business, and it's out there. I would personally rather have it separate. If you have the ability to keep that separate from the beginning, you're better off. And so first thing you want to do is create a business page, and you have a choice when you go into setting this up on whether to create a business or brand or a community or public figure. And we'll get to this, but decide what type of a business page you want to create on Facebook before you get started. Decide all of the things that SCORE can help you with on how to determine what you want to put on your business page and how you want to portray yourself. And then we'll go from there. So right now, this is what your personal page looks like. Mine may look a little bit more complicated than yours because I manage a lot of businesses in the New York and New Jersey area. So this margin here has a lot more information. But this is the anatomy of your standard Facebook page. And this would be your personal page. And as you can see, I have personal information showing on the top of my personal page. And I have many business pages. And they all portray certain things for certain people. And you want to customize that information to fit your business or service. First thing you want to do is pull your page information, get familiar with the anatomy of the Facebook page, and get comfortable with it. And the best way to do it is just browse around, play with it, learn all the buttons. As you can see to the left here, there are shortcuts to your favorite pages. There's groups, there's events, there's fundraisers, there's a place to run ads, which we'll get into, okay? And then at the top, you can go to your personal information, your home page, or you can create page, group, event, market listings, fundraisers, and so forth. And then there's ways to look at your notifications, to see who's messaged you, and so forth. Play around with that, get comfortable with it, because if you're going to be working on Facebook for your business, you want to be comfortable with all the different items that you can do. Oops, skip the page. Okay, so you hit the Create a Page button on the left-hand side, and you go to business or brand or community or public figure, depending on the type of a page you want to create. Self-explanatory. If you own a business or you're selling a brand of something, you want to click on the left one, and this may change as we go along. So, and then if you are a community or community-based service, or if you're a public figure, you're going to click on the community or public figure. Again, these things may change. Don't panic. Read about it, and you can set up the type of page as you want. Next, you want to fill in all the information, and you want to have this information ready when you set up your page. You want to put in your page name. Think about what you want that name to be. It should be easy to get to. If you're a Staten Island-based business, remember, if you put in Staten Island first, everybody else that has Staten Island in it comes up along with you. So think about how you want to name your business or brand on Facebook. The categories, you're going to have to choose from Facebook categories. They're not always what you want. So be careful in choosing the category that you want. You may be able to add multiple categories depending on the category that you choose. You want to enter your business address if you can. I know a lot of you are home-based, but it's always good to put an address if you can. People feel more comfortable with doing business with you. And then you want to add your phone number. You can put don't show my address, but it's always better to put it in. And then you're going to click continue. Then you're going to add a profile picture. The profile picture is the piece that goes on the left-hand side. You're going to have to play with this to get it right. Because Facebook in their infinite wisdom made it a circle and most pictures a square. So you want to probably shrink that picture down a little bit. You're probably going to have to, to make it fit correctly. And you may want to put writing around it that's circular. You may want to use photo editing software like Photoshop. There's a few free products out there like Pixel or GIMP that you can look up online and you can download, and that will allow you to edit photos if you don't have photo editing software, something I recommend highly. If you're going to market on social media, you have to get good with graphics, because graphics today are what catches the attention of the consumer. And if not, even better, video. In this case, we're putting a picture of a camera. We're doing, so we'll talk about that. These are the dimensions of the pictures for Facebook. If you go to this link, Facebook Dimensions, facebook.com, help with this number, at least when I pulled this together, this had all of the information on how many pixels the size of each picture are. So for instance, displays of 170 by 170 would be the little square to the left of, and then the display on the right, the large wide display that's going to show your service or your product or your business, would be 820 pixels wide by 312 pixels. And if you don't understand this, you can look this up. If you use photo editing software, there'll be a way to change the sizes of your pictures. And on computers, you're 640 by 360 pixels on smartphones. They must be at least 400 pixels wide by 150 pixels tall to show correctly on Facebook. And again, you can look all of this up on Google if you need some explanations, but this is the way to make your pictures right on Facebook. There's nothing worse than when pictures are not sized correctly and you put them on Facebook and then your business looks unprofessional. So this you will get in your copy of the presentation. If things change, and Facebook does change dimensions once in a while, you want to take a look online, just Google Facebook Dimensions and look for the most recent information on it, and you'll get the right picture sizes for your ads. So this is what we're talking about. Like I said, if you look at this camera right now, on the left-hand side, the picture doesn't fit correctly. You want to resize that picture, shrink it down, and make it look right so that people can see, let's say, the whole camera. Same thing with this picture here of the city of New York. You want to shrink that down so that you can see the top of Freedom Tower. You may want to shrink it down so that more of the blue of the ocean shows underneath, and you may want to put writing on that states what your business does, okay? Now, when you start to set up your business page, after you've added all your information, the first thing Google does is say, invite your friends. Well, don't invite your friends until you have your page perfectly set. So you want to skip this invite, and you want to fill in all of your information. You want to put a bunch of well-proportioned pictures on the header of your Facebook page. and you want to add some posts to your page that show your products and services. You want to set up your page so that it's professionally done with all the information that you need before you start inviting people and running ads on Facebook. Remember, Facebook wants you to invite people. It keeps Facebook active, and then they want you to advertise. And so those are the first things they offer you, but you're not ready yet. You need to set up your page correctly, build a plan, talk to SCORE about what you're going to do on Facebook, and they can help you to develop a plan on how to market to your people correctly. Okay? So remember, don't rush into inviting people or running ads until you have your page correctly set up with all the information that people need to make a decision and contact you. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. Okay, so now what we've done is we've taken that information, the pictures, and as you can see, I changed the look of the city so that I have it the way I want it. And I took the logo here and I shrunk down the camera so it fits. I put some writing in, and I actually curved the writing so that people could see. This still isn't perfect, but it gives you an idea of what you can do in that little circle. I would probably put a web name underneath and make the writing a little bit more clear, but this is just to kind of give you an idea of what you can do. And then in the picture, I might want to shrink this up, and I might want to put writing underneath the buildings on that water instead of just this. But this is just to show you that you can change the layout of the picture by changing the pixel size and all of that. And you're going to want to read up on editing photos, but this is something that you can do. Couple of other things, you can add a button here. That button can be to buy something, to send them to a website, to contact you. And you want to definitely add a button because that will increase your response rate on Facebook and make your advertising more effective. We're still not ready to invite people, although Facebook will ask us to invite people. And then you want to start to fill in all of this information underneath, your category, your information, add a few pictures, add a map, put in all of your information. All of this is available to you. Facebook will walk you through these features, and this shows you some of the information that you can add. And you just click on the information buttons and you edit your start date and so forth. Just put in all the information you can. You don't want to leave any blanks. You want to go through these pages, home, posts, events. You want to fill them in. You want to create a short, easy username. In this case, it's Top Stock Photos that matches the name, the username, and the name of the business. It also matches the website so that everything is cohesive and people don't have to think a lot about where they want to go for these items. This happens to be a simple site that I created just to sell some stock photography. And again, you want to add a whole bunch of pictures. These are some of the photos that were for sale at the time on this. And you want to add as many posts as you can to make this page look lived in and professional. Here, you want to add an event. If you want to add an event, there's a place you can click on to add events. You can put the event name, the location, the description of your event. You can add an event category. If the event occurs every week, you can add that here. If it happens once, you can add it. Or you can add co-hosts to the event. You can also put where to get tickets. That's not showing. You probably have to scroll down for that. But you want to, if you're creating an event, you want to fill all this in. Again, it's going to ask you to invite people. If you're not ready to invite people until you have everything set up on this page, do not publish it and do not invite people until everything is filled in. So many people start it up and then people come to it and they don't know what to do. You want to make sure all your information is correct and important and actually finished. Plan it well. Then again, you can go in and at this point, if everything is set up correctly, you can click on View Insights. Next to View Insights, there's a little 3-dot button. You go back to invite friends because before they offered it to you, but you weren't ready to show it. Here, you'll click on invite friends, and you'll be able to invite your friends. Just go in and click on your friends. And then when you've got everybody selected, you can choose whether it's just people on Staten Island. Right here, there's all friends, local, remote, you know, all the different types of friends you have. You can choose the kind of friends and then invite them. And then when you're done, you can hit send invites and it'll invite everybody, but just make sure everything on your page is done correctly before you send your invites out. Make it look professional. Okay. Once you have your business page set up and you've sent out your invites and everything looks right, you're ready to start to create pay-per-click ads. Now, what are pay-per-click ads? Pay-per-click ads, it's a way to, Facebook is basically free, and you will get your information out on Facebook to as many friends as you have. It's not going to show to as many strangers as you'd like. And the way to get out to people you don't know, the best way is to create ads that you only pay for an ad when someone clicks on it or when someone sees your ad. And you can get to choose that information by creating a pay-per-click ad. You first create a business page. You put in awesome graphics, you add your taglines, your call to action, and we went through all of this, your links to your website, your phone, email address, and contact information. You want to put all that in, all the information you can supply. You've then invited all your friends. You've created a call to action button on Facebook that sells your product, service, or allows them to contact you. You make sure everything on your website works first and that there's links to your website on the ad you're going to create so that you can sell your product or service, or there's just contact information if they need to contact you. You want to be able to be ready to handle your new sales before you run an ad. You're going to go to the ads manager, which will show you. And don't just boost your ad. Facebook is going to offer you a way to boost your ad. Unfortunately, most of the time, it doesn't point to the demographics you exactly want. And we're going to talk about how to hone in to the right demographics and get the right type of customer that you want. The default usually goes to everyone in the US, which most small businesses can't afford. So you can run out of money very quickly and not have effective marketing if you just go with the defaults. So, you know, what we're going to try and do here today is show you how to keep that information right, how to target your market. You have to know your target location, age, and interests. And we'll get started now. So this basically shows you one of the templates in the Facebook pay-per-click ads. And as you can see, it starts with United States. United States, I don't know how many people it goes out to, but it's too many right now for most people. And yeah, well, let's just go through this real quick. So you want to go in, you want to set your start date. You want to, oh, where do we go here? Okay. Sorry. Okay. So as you can see, the default goes to the United States. You probably want to click on this and change it to tri-state area, New York metro region. It could be the United States, it could be the world, depending on what you want to go after. Then you want to set your age demographics, which this thing is in the way. So there is age right underneath this. Then you want to create, you know, after you put in your age, you want to create a custom audience. You can put custom information here. You can pick, for instance, business owners. You can pick homeowners. You can pick, there's all different types of interests in Facebook. So if someone is interested in gardening, or they're interested in food, you can connect with just those people. you want to hone in on the type of an audience that you want. Facebook collects a lot of information that you can use to actually target your audience to the types of customers you want. And you definitely want to use that because most people can't afford to go out. You know, we just did here, this was business owners. I think the reach is 449,000 to 1,300,000, as you can see here. And this shows you the audience size. And this was just, I think, Staten Island business owners. It's got to be New York metro region that this is showing. But you want to connect to the right demographic. And you want to make sure you're targeting your audience by interest, by area, and as a start. And then you can do much more, and you can tweak it with Facebook. So here we have interest business owners, reach people while they watch videos. I can choose. You can go through a whole bunch of different things, but the basics we've covered. We want to do this whole seminar within an hour, so we're not going to get into the minute details. You want to set your reach. You can put a maximum bid. You want to set a daily budget. It could be as little as $5. You may not always reach, but this is the maximum. And then you can set the start and end date and how you want the ads to run, whether you want it daytime, nighttime, so forth. You can put a frequency cap on how many impressions you want or how many clicks you want. You can pay by click, by impression, or just by showing totals to the public. You want to create an ad name. Then you can choose whether you want a carousel of pictures, a single image, or a video. I definitely recommend adding graphics. Video is best. Pictures are next. A carousel of pictures are better than just one because people can look through different things, and you can create that here. And then here you want to put in your text. Facebook can be very finicky about the pictures and the text, and you're probably going to have to go back and forth a few times before your ad is approved. Don't be discouraged. But what you want to do is in this area here, you're going to be able to put a certain amount of information. Make sure that information is articulate, succinct, and to the point. You definitely want to put a link to where you want to go. There's a place to add a website URL. You want to add your contact information, any media. All of that information gets added here and then popped in here. And then it'll confirm this information. And here we're adding a video. These are just pictures. You're going to pull them off your computer or wherever you have your media. And here we picked a video. We hit open. It pops into Facebook. And then it shows here, and it shows me how my ad is going to look. I put more information here. And then this shows you the way the ad looks. We put all of our information and descriptions. We add a website URL. We can add a short URL. I recommend using bit.ly or tiny URL. If you have a very long URL that people can't remember, you can go to bit.ly or tiny URL and add and change the URL. I kind of like to normally put a URL that has my business name in it, but you can also, let's see what happened here. Okay, and then you can also add tracking. We're not going to go into that, but you can add something called Pixel, which Facebook owns, which if you can put the code in the back end of your website, you can actually track the traffic. Just something to know. And this is where you would choose to add Pixel, which is a way to track your traffic. And then you take that code and you put it into your website, and then you can get reporting from Facebook on how many people came from your ads and came from Facebook. This is what the Facebook ads dashboard looks like if you have a bunch of ads. And as you can see, this is the the seminar that we were advertising right here, it's turned on. You can turn on and off your ads right here. You see these little switches. It tells you what's active, what's inactive. Then it shows you that your ad is in review from Facebook once you put all your information in. They may come back and tell you there's something wrong with your ad. It's too wordy. It has improper text, or they don't like the format of a picture, or it's copyrighted. That's why I tell you to find pictures to buy them instead of, because they can stop you from putting your ad up. This shows you your reach, your results once the ad starts running, and the amount spent, and if the ad is ongoing and what date it ends, and so forth. And all this information is available on your dashboard, and this is the way to turn on and off your ads. You do have full control. Just remember, once you start your ads, it's pulling from your wallet. So make sure you're watching your ads and you know what you're spending, because a lot of people have spent a lot more than they wanted to because they didn't plan this part right. Make sure you have a ceiling or a limit on the amount you're spending, and you make sure that this is all set up to spend no more than what you want. Okay, that's how you run a Facebook ad, and you can always go back to your SCORE representative, and they can help you with a lot of this information. You can always call me if you need further help, or now we're going to get into marketing in today's day and age. We're in a pandemic. We want to make sure we're effective in what we're doing. I've seen a lot of faux pas out there on social media. We're all home. We don't have a lot to do sometimes because of this social distancing, and you don't want to do the wrong thing on social media. Let's not, unless you're a professional singer, don't start singing on Facebook. It's not going to get you new customers. You want to have something that is relevant to your business, but that's also relevant to the consumer that you're going after. So, for instance, if you have a remedy, let's say, that you're selling, whether it's holistic in nature or a health product, you want to kind of find synergies with other people on Facebook. I find that's today, a lot of us got caught by this pandemic. We get stuck in the house. We don't have a large list of consumers to go after. So let's say you have anywhere from 100 to 2,000 people, and you need to reach more people. Well, the first thing to do is to partner up with synergistic businesses. So let's say you have a home health remedy or a remedy, a pain relief remedy, and you have 1,000 people that you can market to. One of the things you can do is partner up with someone that does either an exercise program or a physical rehabilitation program, and combine your users and market to both. So they may have 2,000 people and you may have 2,000 people, and now you're marketing to 4,000 people, 2,000 of which you've never spoken to. So marketing together with other people that actually complement your industry is a great way to get information out, and omni-channel sales, both in using multiple channels on social media and also using multiple Facebook businesses, are a great way to get information out. And business owners can create groups where they all market with each other on Facebook and actually get out to more and more people. This could also be done with LinkedIn and Twitter and so forth, but it's something you should look at. Omni-channel sales have been soaring, and that's a great way to get more business out there. Second, you want to make your information count. Make sure that you're really marketing to what people are interested in and not just your industry jargon, or a lot of us live in our own world with what we do. You want to make sure you make it simple to the consumer, make your information count, and make sure that what you're saying and stating out on social media is relevant to the consumer. That's the most important thing. Today, if you have a product or service in this pandemic, you need to deliver. What you have to be able to get information out there. You have to be able to get your service or product out to the people, whether it's curbside delivery or whether, where they come to the front of your business or your home, or actually you need to deliver. That's the best way to go. Get out there and get information, get your information or product or service to the people. Do it safely. And remember, while people are socially distancing outside, they're doing more in social media. So right now is the most effective time to get your information out there. When you're doing it, don't shove your product in their face. Don't oversell. Make it useful. No nonsense. No, like I said, no singing and dancing unless you're a professional. And you also want to partner up, like I said, and then use people as an example. Show examples of how your product is working. Use testimonials. You can use videos of people or pictures of people using and enjoying your product, benefiting from your product or service, and keep it interesting. Use real people stories, and make sure that what you have, look at it and say, if I wasn't looking for this product, would this ad interest me? Would my posts interest me? And make sure that you put links to your website or to your articles. And remember to use a teaser when you're running an article. Let's say you write an article on your website about this remedy that you have and how it benefits people, how it's natural, how it's good for you, and how it can benefit you. You write all of that on the website, on your blog, and you just put a teaser that will capture someone's interest. That's a sentence long with a link that allows them to read everything, and a provocative picture that makes people want to see what it's all about. That's effective advertising. Okay. Next, how to live stream on Facebook. I'm not a big fan of live streaming, but a lot of people ask about it. The way you live stream, it changes, and it doesn't work for every phone or every PC. So what I've done is I've added the link here so that you can go directly to Facebook and look up how to set up live streaming. Live streaming lets you show an event, performances, or a gathering, which is not many gatherings right now, but viewers can watch from a phone, a computer, or a television. You can go live on a page or in a group, and this is a great way to get people's attention. But what I find is most people do ineffective live streams. Make sure if you're doing a live stream, set up your phone on a tripod. Don't shake, don't move around. Set up like a professional video. Make sure your live stream looks professional and is actually interesting. There's so many people that put together things that I wouldn't show to an enemy, let alone a consumer. And you want to make sure that if you put on a live stream, it looks professional. Otherwise, you don't look professional. You can use a phone to go live on Facebook. That's fine, but just make sure that you set it up correctly so it's not shaking all over the place and it looks like a business did it. This is the information you need to get there. We're not going to go much into detail on it, but now you have the information and the link from Facebook on how to set it up. This is an interesting concept. Everything has changed. We don't have a lot of ways to raise money or to have events in real life today. But this is an example. North Shore Rotary on the 29th is doing a virtual bingo game on Facebook. They've created an event. They set it up on Eventbrite, and then they use Zoom. And they're literally doing a bingo night where they give away prizes. It's all for charity. And they get a couple of hundred people together, and they give out prize money and have a great time. And people interact on chat, and it's a beautiful event. Um, you can see how this event runs. It'll be running next Friday. And it doesn't have to be a bingo night. You can come up with your own virtual game or event, and then you can run it live either using Zoom or using Facebook. And we have the links here to show you how to do it. This is a great way to fundraise or to sell a product. You can create your own show. Just make sure it's interesting and professional. Okay, and then the last thing, a little bit more complicated, is how to stream a meeting on Zoom with Facebook. This is the link right here, and this is the information. You will have to set up an account on Zoom. You go to zoom.us. You can start with a free account, and then you can create a way just like what we're doing here, and you can actually run your Zoom meeting on Facebook to get more people to your Zoom meeting. Very interesting way to go. Again, make sure you plan it. Talk to somebody at SCORE. You can talk to me. I'm happy to help you to plan things too. But SCORE is free, so use them first. And check this out. This is a great way to market your business. Okay, we're open for questions. I'm going to see if I can open the Q&A. John, would you like to add anything here at this point before we take on questions?
Charlie, there's a couple of questions. One question is, how long does it take to try to set all of this stuff up?
Well, that varies.
To get a good page put together.
Yeah, to set up a good page, if you pre-plan, let's say you go to SCORE and you pre-plan, what are your benefits? Who do you want to market to? If you get all of this information, which, as you know, John, you guys can probably collect a lot of this demographic information for them and give them a plan that makes sense. If they're fairly savvy with Facebook, they could set up a business page in 15 or 20 minutes. If they didn't plan it, it could take 2 hours and it could never be right. You know what I mean? But yeah, the effort is in the planning. But I can do a Facebook business page in 10 minutes and make it look good. The other thing is the graphic design. They're gonna have to learn a little bit about how to edit pictures to make them right in Facebook, and that takes a little bit of time too. If they have a printer or graphic designer and they get the dimensions, they could have them do it. Or they can do it themselves if they want to learn. And it's not hard, but you do want to have the dimensions and you want to plan out how you want your page to look.
Okay. Another question is, Charlie, the difference between events and an ad.
Yes.
If you're going to have an event, let's say like this webinar, would you be putting it in as an event and trying to get people to come to it through an event, or would you put it in as an ad and have them try to come to it as an ad?
Right. Well, first thing, of course, you have to set up a business page. If it's an event, I set it up as an event. And then I can run an ad on that event separately. So the first thing you want to do, and this is, again, when you set up your event, the first thing Facebook does is say, run an ad. You don't want to run that ad first because that just costs you money. What you want to do is you create the event, you put in the pictures, you set up the links, you create everything that will get you the business, and you put all the information in. Then you invite all of your friends to the event because that's free. You click on that little 3-dot button to the right of the event and you invite friends, because all of your friends can be invited for free. Why pay for that ad? Let that run for a day because your friends will respond to it, and then run the ad, because otherwise Facebook is going to market to your friends first and they're going to charge you for it. Okay. So that's the best way to save money. Was I clear with that? Did I not explain?
Yes. Okay. Well, I think so. If I recall, just from my own recollection, if you post an event, you will be paying to get that event posted. I mean,
No, you can put an event on your business page for free. You can invite friends for free. And I've had events that
okay.
I just do that because I have enough friends and enough exposure on Facebook that if I wanted to get, let's say, 20 or 30 people, I don't have to run an ad. But if I want more than that, I'm going to have to run an ad. So what I'll do then is first I'll invite my friends. I'll let that run for a day, and then I run an ad. After all the information is in, I have some feedback from some of my friends on the event that I'm running, and that shows well. And then when I do run the ad, people see that other people are interested. It costs me less. Facebook will still market to my friends. I can't weed them out, okay? But at least I know I've marketed for free first.
All right, I have another question here is, how much the advertisement on Facebook business page will cost per month?
That's hard to say. If you market to the United States, like the default is, and you don't put any criteria in, you could go through $500 in a day, okay? What you want to do is you want to say, let's say Staten Island or whatever you think you could afford, New Jersey, New York metro area, and then pick your demographics and then set a maximum budget. Your maximum budget could be as low as $5 a day. That doesn't mean you're going to reach a lot of people. And it all depends. It's on a sliding scale of supply and demand, and also how much criteria you add. So in other words, if I market to the general public at Staten Island, I may have, depending on the supply and demand, pay 25 cents a click. Or I may pay 5 cents a click. It might be 3 cents a click. I don't know what the number would be. It all depends on what Facebook decides that's worth. If I then say I only want to market to business owners that own a home, that have interests in gardening or graphic design or whatever, that might cost me $1 a click because I'm being more specific, but I'm getting to only the people that I want to get to. So Facebook has to charge more. So it's about supply, demand, and the amount of criteria you want to add to get to the right demographic. And Facebook is the fox in the hen house there. They decide what your cost will be, and then you decide if you want to run the ad. And then you can tweak it to change your pricing.
Well, can't you budget the amount that you want to spend?
Yes. Like I said, the minimum right now is $5 per day on Facebook. That may change, okay? But you can add a maximum amount. I usually start when I'm testing at $5 a day just to see how the ad's going to run and if I'm getting the kind of people I want to get. And then I expand that maximum to what I'd like to spend.
Okay. Do you have any data on how many people on Staten Island are on Facebook and what the demographic breakdown is?
I do.
And where do I find that?
I don't remember it, but if you go into the Ads Manager, you click on Ads Manager and you start to run a campaign, all you have to do is put in Staten Island and it's going to give you the number, because that number changes with the number of subscribers, who's on and so forth, and then what interests you have. But if you just wanted to do Staten Island, you type in Staten Island. I recommend you don't just market to Staten Island unless you have a very generic product that everyone can use. And then I would put in what the interests are. And then you're going to get a number that's more accurate to who you want to market to. But you can start with just saying Staten Island. It will give you a number and it will give you a cost on reach. And then you can decide if you want to hone that down. Because you may decide just to do 10314 or 10305 or a combination of zip codes or just the northern portion of Staten Island or a radius around your business in order to get just the right number. I mean, Facebook offers you a lot and you can hone down to whatever number you want. And you have that ability, and I recommend you play with it instead of just going with the defaults.
Okay, Charlie, time is running out. We're going to take one last question here, which is Can you delete a post on Facebook?
Sometimes. Usually to the right, there's a 3-dot button that allows you to delete a post that you don't like or that you think is inappropriate. Most of the time that can be done. If someone tags you, which I've had that, if you have a lot of followers, people start to tag you. Sometimes they can't be removed, and that can be annoying. But these things can change at any time. At this point, you can remove most posts. You can remove some tags.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to thank everyone for coming today, and a reminder that you will be receiving a survey by email probably within the next 15 minutes to a half hour. And I would appreciate if you would complete it and return it to us. And again, a reminder that we have a workshop coming up next week, a webinar coming up next week, dealing with LinkedIn. Charlie, thank you very much.
Thank you. My pleasure.